Welcome back to timeless self-discovery. What if the strength you've been searching for wasn't in the approval of others, but in your ability to stand alone? What if the noise of the world was distracting you from hearing your own voice? Miyamoto Musashi, one of history's greatest warriors, built his legendary life on one principle: self-reliance. He wasn't just a swordsman, he was a philosopher, an artist, and a seeker who believed that solitude was the crucible in which greatness was forged. Now, think about your own life. How often do you rely on others for validation, for comfort, for strength? And what happens when those people aren't there? Musashi's story isn't just about mastering the sword, it's about mastering yourself. By the end of this journey, you'll see solitude not as loneliness, but as the foundation for a powerful, unshakable life. Musashi's life began in turmoil. Abandoned by his father at a young age, he had no one to lean on, no family to protect him. Most children in his position would have been lost, broken by the weight of rejection. But Musashi, he learned an invaluable lesson early on. When the world turns its back on you, you can either collapse or you can stand tall on your own. At just 13 years old, he faced his first duel, a moment that would define the rest of his life. His opponent was a seasoned samurai, someone older, stronger, and more experienced. Imagine being that boy, standing in the shadow of a warrior twice your size. Most people would have run. Musashi didn't. With nothing but a wooden staff, he defeated his opponent in a brutal fight. What does this teach us? Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Challenges come whether you're prepared or not. Musashi's victory wasn't about skill alone, it was about his mindset. He refused to let fear control him, and he chose action over hesitation. How often do we hesitate in our own lives, waiting for the perfect moment or enough confidence? Musashi reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. For years, Musashi wandered the wilderness, living as a hermit. While other warriors sought recognition in bustling cities and grand courts, Musashi chose the mountains. Why? Because solitude allowed him to focus, to grow, and to truly know himself. In today's world, solitude is rare. We're constantly connected. Text messages, social media, endless notifications. Silence feels foreign, even uncomfortable. But Musashi saw solitude not as isolation, but as liberation. In the quiet, he confronted his fears, refined his skills, and forged a clarity of purpose that few people ever achieve. Think about your own life. When was the last time you sat alone with your thoughts? Truly alone. No phone, no music, no distractions. How often do you seek out quiet to understand what you really want, who you really are? Musashi's time in solitude wasn't just about sharpening his sword, it was about sharpening his mind. He believed that only by stepping away from the noise could you hear the truth within. Solitude isn't something to fear. It's where you find clarity, strength, and self-awareness. If you avoid being alone, ask yourself, what are you running from? Musashi didn't follow the crowd. While most warriors of his time trained under masters in traditional schools of swordsmanship, Musashi broke away. He created his own style, Niten Ichi-ryu, the art of wielding two swords. This wasn't just a rejection of tradition. It was a declaration of self-reliance. He didn't wait for someone to show him the way. He trusted his instincts, experimented, and forged his own path. This is where Musashi's philosophy transcends swordsmanship and becomes a lesson for all of us. How often do we wait for someone else to guide us? We wait for teachers, mentors, bosses, or even friends to tell us what to do. And while guidance can be valuable, Musashi reminds us that the ultimate responsibility for your life lies with you. Stop waiting for permission to pursue your goals. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Like Musashi, you have the power to create your own path, but only if you trust yourself enough to take that first step. Musashi's victories weren't a product of luck. They were the result of relentless discipline. He practiced endlessly, not until he got it right, but until he couldn't get it wrong. But Musashi's discipline wasn't limited to combat. He applied it to everything he did, whether it was painting, calligraphy, or strategy. To him, discipline wasn't a chore, it was a way of life, a form of self-respect. Now think about your own habits. How many times have you started something with enthusiasm only to give up when it became difficult? How often do you let procrastination or self-doubt stop you from moving forward? Musashi's mantra was simple: today is victory over yourself of yesterday. This means that success isn't about comparing yourself to others. It's about being better than you were the day before. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. The more you commit to small daily improvements, the closer you get to mastering your own life. Despite his fame and skill, Musashi walked away from the trappings of success. He chose a simple life, free from attachments. He believed that clinging to desires, whether for wealth, recognition, or even love, clouded the mind and weakened the spirit. In his Book of Five Rings, Musashi writes, "Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love." This wasn't about rejecting human connection. It was about not being controlled by fleeting emotions. Now pause and reflect. What are you holding on to that's holding you back? Is it fear, a toxic relationship, a need for validation? Musashi's life teaches us that true freedom comes when we let go of what no longer serves us. Freedom isn't about adding more to your life. It's about letting go of what weighs you down. What can you release today to move closer to your best self? Musashi's life was extraordinary, but his lessons are universal. He shows us that standing alone isn't a weakness, it's a strength. He reminds us that solitude can be a gift, that discipline can shape greatness, and that self-reliance can unlock our fullest potential. But this isn't just Musashi's story, it's your story too. His life challenges us to embrace the discomfort of growth, to trust in our ability to overcome, and to walk paths that only we can tread. So the next time you find yourself alone, don't see it as loneliness. See it as an opportunity to forge your strength, to find your clarity, and to become the master of your own destiny. If Musashi's story resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to explore more timeless lessons for self-mastery, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Remember, the lone wolf isn't lost. It's simply on a path only it can walk. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep walking your path.